Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Rav Goren and Medinat Yisrael Part 2. Beautiful autobiography he put out in Hebrew and in English. Both big Gvura, with might and with strength. Autobiography of Rav Goren. And very, very important work to really understand who this man was, his greatness. Legendary, as we said in the first year. Certain psak, certain conclusions he had, not accepted by everyone, or controversial, but those psak need to be investigated on their own merit, and besides that, there's so many things he's involved in. Everyone should see in Hakarat Tov. So he came along in the early years, in the 30s, 20s, 30s, he's here, and defending Israel, the Haganah, and he became a massive Talmid Chacham, genius, learning Hebron at the unheard of age of 12, and all of a sudden, he's in the middle of the war. Besides the physical danger to his life, which meant nothing to him, he was fearless. Shilas started coming up in the army. So let's go through some of them. So the British were leaving. They left rations of food behind. Not kosher, of course. Now the boys are in the army. So someone goes ahead and is about to die. Of course you go ahead and you give them a tray food. But at what point do you say that now we need to go ahead and open up the cans of food? At what point not? And then what about priority? You have a soldier who needs the food. You have a regular citizen who needs the food. These are the shilas that are being thrust upon Rav Goren. He was the only one around to really answer them. The chief rabbis were around, but he was there, b'shetach. He was there in the bunkers, literally and figuratively. So he was in touch with Rav Uziel and Rav Herzog, but he was there on the ground. And he wasn't yet the military chief rabbi. It didn't exist. Zahal didn't exist yet. It's all in the formative years. And he was there at this magical time in history. Then the question came up, and finally we have it come up. We did now. We fought off the enemies. And now the question is, how are we going to set up the army? So many of the ministers in the government said, what do you mean how are we going to set up the army? Well, they're going to set up the army. There's some religious soldiers. They want to have kosher food. Let those religious soldiers have kosher food. There's some religious soldiers who want to have Shabbos. Let them have Shabbos. One minister even sarcastically says, you know what? Let the religious soldiers in unit daven all day. They can learn all day. They can have cholent all day. He made a joke of it. And Rav Goren said, no way. We are going to have kasher in the whole army. We've left the ghetto of Europe. We had to encircle ourselves, the religious people, and stay away from everyone else. There's going to be a religious army. There's going to be laws. There's going to be kashrut. And that's it. And he found a great friend in Goren. Goren was not a halachic Jew at all. He admired the Tanakh, but that's about it in terms of Torah literature. He said, yes, there's plenty of gems in rabbinic literature here and there, but halacha did not speak to Ben-Gurion at all, and yet Ben-Gurion had tremendous respect for Rav Goren, who knew Kala Torah Kula, who had a Hebrew University degree as well, which spoke to Ben-Gurion, and he fought in the Haganah, which certainly spoke to Ben-Gurion. So Ben-Gurion saw that this is a person that could truly influence the whole state of Israel and all the Jews, secular and religious alike. And he worked very hard. They worked hard together to create the laws, and he sided with Rav Goren that there is going to be a religious standard in the army. And what is that religious standard going to be? It's going to be kashrut, basic level kashrut in every unit, and there will be Shabbos observance, and there will be rules about how to follow Shabbat in the army. Obviously, things that are crucial, pikuach nefesh, that will have to violate Shabbos. That's how the halacha. But things that are not, the general wants a trip to the Makol to get a chocolate bar. No way. There's no way that he can demand that of Chayal to drive him. These rules in the early stages of Zahal, before Zahal even existed, and once Zahal was created, and once Medinat was created, Rav Goren worked through every one of these rules, which are in application till this very day. We should have so much Hakarat Tov that he was there at this historical time in Hakamat Medinat, and that he was able to be so bold and strong and set up all these rules. Shalom.